He's the incumbent, so
True.
go with it.
True. Fair enough. What do you reckon, Ra? How do you reckon the Kiwis will go up against England?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough ask. I mean, when you watch the Poms play at home, they usually tend to play about 10, 15, 20% above their normal game. And, as we alluded to in the first half of the show, in front of that parochial crowd, which is just within touching distance, sometimes you feel, it's going to be a tough ask for the men in black. I'm not saying that they can't do it. They'll be quietly confident after beating, the world champs Aussie, and, they'll take a lot from that game and hopefully applied how they took out their game into this match. Because I'll tell you, if they keep attacking the Poms, I think they're bound to sort of break through their defences. There's only so much defensive game a team can sort of hold out for, and the Kiwis have got to want it, because as I say, you give England just an inch, they'll take a mile, and at home, yeah, they're going to be quite sort of formidable. But the boys can do it. They've just got to play the same game that helped them beat Aussie, and play with a bit of confidence, make those first up tackles, and every ball that they do get to attack, try and utilise it, and if they can, try and score for it, because that's the only way they're going to get ahead. When you play any team at home, they're going to come out with with their A game.
Now, JT, when the Kiwis played Aussie, they all were firing. The whole team, all across the board, I think you could say, were all had good games. But the two that really impressed me, I think, would have been the debutants in that particular game. And do you think they'll play key roles once again against England?
I think so, especially Brandon Smith. That's what he brings to the table every week for the Melbourne Storm. He doesn't normally play hooker. That's his favourite position for the Storm. He just sort of comes in and floats around, and wherever he's needed to be, he fills in the gap. But his game at hooker, good service from dummy half, good control, strong running game, and of course defence is one of the key attributes that he brings to any side. So, but I think so. He's a very passionate, hard on the sleeve sort of a fella, plays with a lot of emotion, a heap of emotion, and so I think he'll back it up again and bring the same sort of intensity as he's brought in the Australian match. So I think Joseph Manu is the other one you're talking about. He had two absolute flashes of brilliance where he scored a try for himself and then laid on one for Jordan Rapana. So, mate, it's all going to be a mental thing. They've had a long trip over there. It's a hell of a long way to go to the UK. And I think being in the atmosphere with the boys, with the bros, I think it'll be a good thing. And, I think they'll bring it to the table tonight and put a score on, hopefully.
Yes, I agree. This is definitely a game that I'm looking forward to, especially this test, and it's going to be a big one, and there'll be no shortage of a crowd. That is for sure. They're AJT.
No, definitely not. Hull is where the game has been played at the KC Stadium. It's one of the biggest rugby league cities there is, towns area. In the north of England. They've had Hull Kingston Rovers, they've had Hull City over the years. So the town's split down the middle. You're either one or the other. So tonight, it'll be a good game. Real rugby league country up the north of England. And, mate, can't wait.
Yeah, no. It's going to be a great game. Certainly, one you'll be watching there, Ra?
Oh, yeah, and as JT said, real sort of hearty coal mining country up that way where, a lot of the leagueies, that part of the world, have sort of, adapted and loved the game of rugby league. But no, I think it's going to be a great match. I think it's going to be a free-flowing affair. I just hope the Kiwi boys can, get the mettle and the edge over the opposition, because, the Poms are going to come out and, try and sort of do it for their fans. And they're very capable of beating this Kiwi team. But no, I'm going to put my money on the men in black. And, I suppose the news at the moment is with our man Shaun Johnson. I think he's going to be on the open market from next season. I think so. He'll have a lot to play for. He'll be a sad loss to future Kiwi teams if he gets a better offer from any clubs overseas. His age may count against him, but he's a good player when he has his game on. So he's hoping that he gets a good run tonight.
He's got to be a bit of a key, doesn't he, JT, Shaun Johnson? If he plays well, usually the Kiwis really play well. And he had a very good game last against the Aussies. So is that how you see Shaun Johnson there, JT?
Yeah, mate, he had a very good game against the Australians. Probably the best game I've seen him play for the Kiwis in a long, long time. Shaun, anyone can tell you Shaun's biggest problem has been his consistency or lack thereof.
Yeah.
And that, he'll have a good game and have a couple of below par games, have another good games, and so on and so forth. It'll be interesting to see if they're going to put him on, if they put him on the open market, rather, how much interest there is out there. He's 28 years of age, so, it's probably at the back end of his career. But I think in the right environment, with the right sort of coaching and maybe a new lease on life, he could be still worth taking a punt on for one of the other sides out there in the NRL.
Yeah. Personally, I can't see him. Going anywhere else. I can't see him leaving the Warriors, but you never know. Eh? I mean,
that's right, because they're going to win the premiership next year.
Exactly.
So he's got to be locked in for that.
So I'm pretty sure he'll probably re-sign next year, but I just can't see him going anywhere else. But I tell you what, he certainly could. I guess, if he does go somewhere else, it would be interesting to see where do you think he'd fit? I mean, what other team do you think he would fit in with?
I think the issue, too, with Shaun is the amount of money he's taken up out of their salary cap. He's probably their highest paid player.
Yes.
Maybe alongside Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. So if you look at the value for money, that's, highest paid players across the board. You got your Thurston at the Cowboys, Cameron Smith and Slater at the Storm.
Yeah.
And then various others, across different clubs. So you have to see what impact and what he brings to that side every week in, week out, compared to the Thurston and Smiths and the Inglis's and the Burgesses. I don't think Shaun's quite up to that level, but he's certainly up to that level in terms of his pay scale.
Yeah.
Which is probably what the Warriors are backing on. Maybe he might sign on for less.
Okay.
Which I think probably will happen. But in saying that, if he was to come to the Storm, mate, I'd be happy, because I think we've got the systems in place to help him out with his game.
Right.
We've got the coaching and we've got the forward pack that goes forward. So, yeah, mate, either way, he's certainly a good player, but in terms of being a great player, no, I think he's still got a way off to achieve that sort of status.
Well, that's the thing, though, with the Storm, they've got a system set up where, they can, if they are able to choose the right players, they can certainly excel, because the Storm, over the years, have consistently brought out just some damn good players, haven't they?
Oh, right from the word go, they've had players. I mean, in the first year in '98, they had a team of journeymen, and from teams that had folded, like the Western Reds and the Hunter Mariners. So they signed a lot of them. Brett Kamali was a no-name. Robbie Kearns was a no-name. Rodney Howe was a no-name. Ben Lazarus and Taua Nico were back, in the twilight of their careers. Yeah. They came down. Stephen Kearney came across. And so if you look right back from the word go, Storm had brought on players that were going nowhere. Yeah. And made almost, cult figures out of them. And I think Shaun Johnson would be tailor-made for that sort of environment. There, maybe the Broncos, the Cowboys, something like that. Just a change of scenery, and it might freshen Shaun up as well. He's perhaps in a bit of a lull, or in a bit of a comfort zone at the Warriors. He's just cruising and just going through the motions. Whereas a bit at the backside from a Bellamy or a Bennett or someone like that might be just what he needs. Yeah.
What do you reckon, Ra? What do you where do you reckon would be a good fit for Shaun Johnson if he was to leave?
Well, as JT said, I agree with him. I mean, if he gets in with a team that sort of has that same style of play that we know Shaun's capable of, that that dynamic, attacking, free-flowing running style, man, he can go far even at his age. And as we've seen throughout the seasons, all these former Warrior players going to these clubs, getting picked up by these clubs, and they're playing great football for them. Yeah. Once they're away from the club, I think Shaun would be no different. Man, I'd like to see him with the Storm or even the Broncos. I think both those teams, those Aussie sides, have that style of play that kind of reminds me of Shaun's, and I think he's just going through a bit of a lull at the moment with the Warriors because, sometimes I feel he's a bit advanced with them, but then he goes into those lulls where he needs to do a lot more. But, as I say, if you're behind a team like Melbourne or the Broncos, man, they'll motivate you, to play that style of football that you're accustomed to, and man, that'll be exciting. I reckon that'll do wonders for his game.
One of the things that I've always said, and I've always thought anyway, is that, Shaun Johnson's had to be pretty much the man. He's been almost doing too much, I would say, so that when it comes season, when so much of the game gets piled on somebody, season after season after season, they get to do too much, and so they aren't able to flourish as much as what they would like to, because they're getting, pretty much a lot of things heaped on them. What do you reckon about that there, JT?
Yeah, I think particularly in the Warriors case, and more pertinent is the fact of the matter regarding Sean Johnson. He, week in, week out, is entrusted to guide their side around. And the weight of that pressure must be enormous. The Warriors fans are long-suffering like yourself, Keithy. Since 1995, they've got nothing to show for themselves, really.
Yes.
And that weight of expectation, keeping the faith and all the other stuff that comes with it, I just think, it's probably not fair to be put under that sort of scrutiny, although if you look at the slice of the pie that he's getting, then maybe it is. So I think one of the advantages, if he was to go to something like the Storm, one of Craig Bellamy's philosophies in terms of his preparing his players is he doesn't expect his players to do things they can't do, but expects them to do the things they can do and expects them to do them well. So that's, just keep it simple.
Yeah.
And that's a basic philosophy. Don't do what you can't do, but do what you can do and do it bloody well.
Yeah.
And so you got to feel for Sean. Like I say, he's very, very much maligned by critics from both the Warriors and from other fans, from other clubs. But definitely got the makings there of something, but it's perhaps maybe if we look back on it, it's potential unfilled. I don't know.
I agree. Anyway, what else has been happening in sport? Now, I see that Lydia Ko is currently in Taiwan, in the Taiwan Championship on the LPGA. So hopefully she can pick up some, valuable points along the way over there. What do you reckon, JT?
Yeah, absolutely. Big fan of Lydia's, and everything she does for the game of golf, the way she conducts herself on the course, the way she carries herself, and just her ball striking. For me, the hardest part of the game of golf is your long irons off the fairway. That's where I really struggle. But I watched her, and mate, she is as crisp as something that's really crisp, like a fresh potato, potato chip. But yeah, mate. So that's for me. Like I said, that's where I struggle with my golf game.
Yeah,
I've watched her on numerous occasions, and a lot of the professionals too. But for me, just her rhythm, the contact and the control of the ball flight through the air, it's just amazing. One
of the things that I'm impressed with is her demeanour, I think, and like you said, the way she conducts herself, she's playing in a just as a young girl when she was really, really young, the way that she could just take the pressure, because you get heaped on with a lot of pressure with crowds watching you and stuff like that, but she was able to handle all that pressure and even notch up a few wins on the LPGA, which is the top league for any woman in the sport of golf. So I think she's just an incredible athlete, JT?
Yeah, absolutely. And golf is one of those sports where it's probably more important to have a mental strength rather than a physical ability. Yeah, and she has got that in bucket loads. Absolutely.
Indeed, she does. Anyway, what else has been happening in sport, in the sporting world, especially over there, JT?
Well, mate, a good news story from this side of the Tasman is the Australian cricketers have been getting rolled. How good is it?
It's a great story. Love it.
Since the old sandpaper gate and all the rest of it, and all the rubbish, with David Warner and the like, mate, they have gone from the penthouse to the outhouse in one fell swoop. And as a diehard Black Cap fan, as a diehard New Zealand cricket fan, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. Yeah, nothing like watching the Australian cricket team going down. Watching that debacle when they were over in South Africa last year. I mean, that was just, it was music to a Black Cap's ears, JT?
Oh, 100%, mate. And Pakistan, big ups to Pakistan. They rolled them by 300-odd runs in the second test in a place called Abu Dhabi. Bit out of the way, but yeah, mate, magnificent.
Oh, just absolutely awesome. Anyway, just that pretty much, I guess, winds us up, unless you've got anything there, anything sports-wise?
Apparently, if you're a big bowling fan, apparently that's taken a bit of a different sort of move in a different direction. I think they're trying to modernise it. and lawn bowls.
Oh, okay.